4 years ago, and yes, it has been that long. One Mark Edward Fishback and one Ethan Nestor Darling set out to create the greatest YouTube channel of all time, Unus Annus. And Unus Annus was fantastic. What it was they uploaded a new video every day for a year. Sounds familiar. And then at the end of the year, they deleted it all, as if it never happened. There was a message to remember death, right? That's what Unus Annus was kind of about, the impermanence of those things, of life, right? And I was very into Unus Annus. Unus Annus started in November 2020. It must have started in November 2019. In fact, I'm certain it did start in 2019. So it's been 4 years since it ended, but it's actually been 5 years since it started. I distinctly remember coming across Unus Annus, not on the day that it released, but a few months after, at the start of 2020. I think I saw someone mention it on social media, and I was like, I wonder what that is. I used to watch Markiplier when I were younger, when I cared about Five Nights at Freddy primarily. And so I looked it up and I found Unus Annus, and it was amazing. I mean, it was really funny. It was mostly live action, comedy content, new experiences. They did all sorts of like just kinds of experiences. Just, you know, generally about doing all sorts of things, right? So they had a video where they waxed themselves, or created like wax statues of themselves. They had a video where they met a defense dog. I don't know what you would call a bodyguard dog. A guard dog. They met a guard dog, and the whole video was just like, wow, look at how impressive this animal is. Which is true. Guard dogs, they have very difficult dog jobs. Ouch. And so, you know, all sorts of good stuff. And the thing that Unus Annus served for me, and I think for many people, was a distraction, because when Unus Annus first started, it was 2019, and we had no reason to be afraid of anything. And then 2020 happened during the course of the channel. Very quickly it went from, oh, the next few videos are going to be online because of the lockdown, to pretty much the rest of the videos are going to be online because of the lockdown. There was a good period of a few months where all the videos were online, and those videos were fun, but not as good as the content that Unus Annus kind of started with, in my opinion. But there's something interesting in that, I think, about how, you know, I'm sure if Mark and Ethan could choose, that that wouldn't have happened, right? That all of the content could have stayed, kind of in line with that original content, and eventually, the last few months of the channel, eventually they did get to do more of that IRL content, but it was always kind of plagued by the COVID thing, because of like COVID restrictions and stuff, they couldn't just ignore that just because the lockdown was not on anymore in that area. They still had to abide by COVID safety protocol and stuff. And for me, Unis Honest really kind of served as an escape from it all. And there were times where it was too hard to ignore, right? There were times where it was too hard to ignore that actually something is up here, right? Like something has like royally changed us. And Unis Honest ended in November of 2020. And that was a big moment for many fans of the program. If you were an Unis Honest fan, then you'll know what I'm talking about. It wasn't just that they were going to stop making videos, it was the fact that you couldn't watch them anymore. Okay, so let's talk about that. Strictly speaking, I could go watch any Unis Honest video whenever I want. A lot of the content has been re-uploaded to YouTube, and there are archives of it, as there should be. There are archives of it in various places. So what's the big deal? They've deleted the channel, but you can go and watch it whenever you want. But I won't. That's the big deal, is that I'm not going to, and I wouldn't, because it's not it's not what they wanted. And I've gone back and forth on this. Since Unis Honest ended, I have not seen a single episode of Unis Honest. I've never watched a re-upload. But I have, before in my life, hovered over the download video, the download button of an Unis Honest archive. I've thought, you know, wouldn't it be nice just to go back there for just a little bit? Because it really did mean a lot to me at the time when I watched it. And there are so many of those videos that are some of the best content I have ever seen on YouTube. They're so funny and they do such interesting things. And Mark and Ethan, when they are together, are electric. I mean, there are videos you can watch of them right now that are on YouTube that capture the feel of Unis Honest to an extent. And those videos are fantastic. They are truly some of the best content on YouTube. If you find them funny, like I do. So I distinctly remember watching they live streamed the deleting of the channel, and I distinctly remember it was a 12-hour live stream, and it started at like 7 p.m. my time. And so I started watching it, and I was like, I'm gonna stay up all night and watch this. And I fell asleep, because of course I did. I probably fell asleep at like 4 a.m. or something, maybe even earlier than that. But I did wake up before the stream ended. I did wake up before they deleted the channel. And I expected to feel more strongly about it. At the time when the channel was deleted, I just went about my day afterwards. I went to high school, and I talked about it a little bit. But by and large, that was Unis Honest. It was over, and I went to bed, and that's when it hit me that the day had ended and I hadn't watched an Unis Honest video. Like, for months and months and months of my life, it had been a part of my daily routine, and then it ended. And I couldn't go back to watch it once it was done. It was just over. I cried a lot when I came to that realization. And it's because nothing truly is more valuable than a distraction. And what Unisanis provided me with throughout the entire COVID era was a distraction from what was going on. And I dropped out of high school after that. I really did not like what the school experience was like after COVID. I used to be really quite a big fan of high school. I was like, you know, give me the choice and I would do this forever, right? Because I was... Where'd all the music go? I was really quite like into the whole education thing, and I always want to learn, right? And I feel this way about university now, where it's like, this is the best place for me. Like, this is the best thing I can be doing. It's interesting because I can't really shake the fact that my dropping out of high school actually lined up with the end of Unisanis really well. I believe it was like the week after or something. Like, it was something like that. But I think I realized, like, if this isn't the way I need it to be for me to enjoy it, I can't stay here just to fill out my obligation, right? Because so many people do 6th year. Not everybody does. Most people don't. Most people don't, at least at my university, or my high school, pardon. Most people didn't. And that was part of the thing I hated about those first few weeks doing 6th year was... It was that nobody that I knew already was there. Nobody was there. I had absolutely nothing keeping me there other than the obligation to do it. Because... Am I Team Orange or Team Blue? Currently, I'm feeling Team Orange a bit. I feel like... And this is not necessarily true. I feel like orange is the primary color here, and blue is the kind of secondary one. But yeah, man, I hated going to school and not having my friends there, and everything was different, and we couldn't, you know, we couldn't... We weren't able to, you know, walk through the halls to get to our class. We had to go outside and walk around the school from the outside because of the COVID stuff. It just was horrible. It sucked. Like, it wasn't... What I had put all of my energy into up until that point was a particular high school experience that no longer existed. And I didn't like that. This is pretty cool. I can just hold forward here until like a certain point. But it's the blue that dies, right? So I just need to see if I can adjust Oh, this is gonna go perfect. Why didn't I think of this method before? So what happens here is I have to go... Oh, this is gonna be cool when it happens. That slowed you down a bit. A little bit. This is kind of a cool game. I haven't talked about the game at all. This is called Binaries. It's a game where you control two balls at once, and you can't control them on an individual basis. So you have to control two balls at once. I need to hold a little bit more left there. It's hard because I can't look at both at the same time. Like obviously I can slow down, but this is working so well. But yeah, I mean, you go to school since you're a kid, right? Like, this is not a unique experience that I had. Everybody, more or less, goes to primary school and then high school, and by the time you're out of high school, you're 16, 17, 18, you're older. You're like at that point you've spent over 80% of your life as a student. Like, it's a huge chunk. It's a huge chunk of time. And I didn't know what to do with myself when I could no longer stomach that experience. Because really that's what happened, was the high school experience became so unappealing for me that I couldn't stand to do it anymore. And I was like, I need to go to university and hopefully that'll be better. And that was still a gamble, right? Like, that's the uncomfortable part for me, was there is a reality, right? There is a Lily out there where even that didn't fix it. And that sounds terrible. That sounds really, really terrible to me. I feel like I can jump over these spikes with a small jump for the blue. But the smallest jump appears to get me in trouble on the orange side. So maybe not. It's hard. I would love to come up with a solution that involves, like, always moving. I think that would be really fun. I don't know if it's a thing. I need to win this time because I have no idea how I did that. I'm so bad. Video's over.